Hello everyone, this is going to be a video to demonstrate how to make a knot, a metal knot that is. Let me just change the angle of the camera, just so it's just right. There we go. Right, there's some metal in the forge cooking already, see, right up there. And I'm going to show you the exact method to make a knot. It's like literally a 10-minute project, probably less than that, so I'll show you it. Most people could probably learn how to do it. It's like a very good beginner project. Right, here we go. First you make a taper on one end. And then you round it. If you see that, it's a round point. So that's what you want. I mean, in fact, I probably should get it a bit thinner, but it doesn't matter. Try and do it in one heat, because it's like a really quick project. You don't want to be fussing too much with the point, because the point really doesn't matter in the end, because all it does is just, you know, taper down. It's just kind of more of an aesthetic thing, because the thing, rather than just ending the knot, it looks a lot better with a little bit more detail when you have the knot kind of curling around itself with that kind of point on one end. So next you stick it further into the fire so you can get the heat a little bit further back, and I will hold it over the edge of the anvil and knock it down so there's about a 90-degree tilt. This will get me the angle needed to then bring it towards me and create a bit of a circle. You'll see that, and once that's done I can use the hole here, picture hole, to bend it over itself. Again, you'll see that. And then I basically just target the point that I just made to go through the hole that I create, and then I tighten it all up together at the end, and it will make a really nice knot on a stick. Because, you know, you guys need knots on sticks. It's mostly just to show the kind of malleability of metal. It's just showing how flexible it really is, you know, when it's hot. So anyway, over the anvil, 90-degree tilt. Doesn't have to be a sharp degree or nothing, just, and then bend it towards you. So it then curls back on itself. Like so. You see that? See that shape? That's what you want to get. Doesn't matter if it's too round or not at this point. It's just a target pretty much. Next, I'll heat up this stem, and I'll stick it through the picture hole, and it will bend one way to then loop back into that hole there. It's like a 4 or 5 step project. It really is nothing. I would barely call it a project, just a little trinket that you can make. Anyone can really do it, because you just show somebody for 5 minutes how to do it, 10 minutes, and then you pretty much got the hang of it. I mean, we did it with children in the primary school, not the high school, the primary school. Cowie Primary School, we pretty much did like loads of these, and they could keep them and take them home, but it's just something to show them all what blacksmithing can do. So I'm going to stick it through the hole. Make sure you get it the right direction. That is the wrong direction. Don't do what I do. And I bend it round, you see? So it's like that, and then I just curl it. Curve it in, being careful not to go too far over and then just guide it slowly through that hole. See, it's almost making a bit of a pretzel shape now. See that? When you get to about there, that's when you can tighten up all these angles. I'll show you how to do that, using the edge of the anvil mostly. I think the reason why it's so easy to do is because you're only really using the face and edge. So yeah, you're using a picture hole, but you could also do it over the edge if you wanted. It doesn't really have to use a combination of too much of the anvil, because that can be a bit confusing to people who haven't done it before. There's no table on this anvil, as you can see, but there's the flat, the big, hardy picture hole. But you know, if you don't know what they're used for, then you kind of just randomly hit bits of metal in the face. That's what I was doing in high school for all that time. Anyway, I'm going to bring it over, and I'm going to tighten it all up like this. Work my way around wherever I think it needs to be tightened up. It's just preference as well. It doesn't quite matter how much you tighten it up, so long as it looks right. I mean, because everyone's knot will look differently. So you use a combination of the faces and over the edge of the anvil. Try not to hit too much on one side, because then you'll get like dents in the round bar. But you can always knock them back out. Kind of brush your hammer around it rather than focusing on one place, you know, one time. One more heat and that should be it. But yeah, if you ever try this project, don't worry about making it look right, because it's just a knot. You know, you don't have to make it look right. It's just the way you know, you do things. I mean, yeah, make it look like a knot, but don't aim for a specific design unless you need to. Just do it as a demonstration. That's why they're really good for demonstration, because nothing really can go wrong. You just randomly hit it at that stage and around it, making sure you don't hammer mark the round bar, but other than that, just randomly close it up. And you know, I've done quite a few of these knots so far, and even with people like the primary school kids, and some guy, one of the builders who's working on the thing, also made one, and super easy to teach, because as I said, they're not aiming for a specific shape, they're just getting it into a knot. Bring it a little bit further back. Hopefully you can see the working, because I mean my arm is in the way, I know that. But you can sort of see roughly what's going on. Pretty much, just trying to close it up as much as I can, really, as much as it allows you to. I might actually leave it at that, because the knot is actually, like the space in between each side seems to be the same. Actually, a little bit further back. It actually kind of looks cool that way, so I might just gonna keep that way. Also, if you're making it on the stem, you should probably bring it back like this, so it's set in center with the stem. Otherwise it will look just a bit like uneven, even though it's not. It's all about the looks in this case. There we go, it's sort of center with the thing now. I'll show you as well how to use one of these. Just that. If you know blacksmithing, it's pretty obvious what this thing is, but it's a hot cut hardy, and you put the metal over it, and you just hit bits of hot metal over it, and it cuts it. There's a certain way of doing things, obviously, because I mean, for a round bar, you'd probably be best circling the piece, so you're not cutting only on one side, because it creates kind of a weird slant angle, which is quite hard to get rid of unless you have obviously a linisher right beside me. That makes things so much easier. But in this case, I'll just work my way slowly around, hitting quite hard, because if you work too slow, there's no point. You're not doing anything. You're just creating a groove. For square bars, the way I do it is I just work in two faces at a time, and then until I get to a certain depth, and I just turn it over and do the same to the other. You can sort of bend around a bit though if you're doing that way, but I just prefer that doing that. So some people like to go and start in the corners and all that, and then work the way around. I just kind of on the flat. I don't care. Right. Right, so you stick it just randomly, just hit hard and work your way around. Be very careful not to hit the hardy, because you'll damage the blade. And it will get to a certain point where it's so thin. This is kind of a poor attempt, but you know. It's thin enough now to just bend it enough, and then it should just snap off. Look, we just keep bending it. It will lose its structure, and it falls off. Brilliant. Right, put that in the quenching bucket. Turn down the forge. Ah, so much quieter. Obviously, don't pick it up with your hands, because right now it's very hot. It may look like it's no longer glowing, but that means absolutely nothing at all. Right. So yeah, just dip it in the quenching bucket myself. In fact, if you guys want to really see a little sizzle, because I know a lot of people like seeing a little sizzle. Oops. Ooh. Sizzle. Obviously mild steel, you can just keep doing this forever. It doesn't really change the properties of the steel that much. So yeah. Come on, focus. Be better if it was focusing. There we go. You see that? I probably can touch it now. Yes, I can. And every knot is different. I've kind of left a gap in between each side. You see that? Each side of it. You can only go one way if you want. You can turn it around 3 ways. Who knows? You can just keep going and going and going with this thing. You can make the knot just a big ball, like this size if you wanted, depending on how much material you have. But yeah. Oh, and obviously that little sharp bit there, you probably should file or lanish that off when you're done with it, so it doesn't cut anyone. But yeah, that's how you make a knot. And really easy. Oh yeah, I probably should hold it towards the light. That's actually a much better idea. I'll bring it over. See that? Right. That doesn't help that much actually, but you get the idea. Ah, there we go. That's a much, much better view of it. It looks kind of dirty right now, that's only because the quenching bucket's like that and all the scale builds up. You just need to give it like a wire brushing, and then it should have like an even coating all the way around, an even finish. If you want that kind of blackened look, then you'll maybe like put some oil in it while it's a little bit hot, then quench it, like brush it off. And then there's many ways of changing the finish of something, but right now I think the only way I would do it was just wire brush the thing, because then it just has an even metal look. Doesn't look too shiny, doesn't look too matte like it is right now. Yeah, but also it's quite dirty, so you could have to clean it off with a rag before you do that. And yeah, right, I'll bring you guys back in. So, that is how you make a metal nut. Pretty simple. You can try it yourself, like all you need is like a really basic forge and anvil, like that's all it takes. I mean the forge I've got, that gas forge back there, you know, you can even make your own if you're skilled enough. But you can use a coke forge, anything that heats up the steel. Obviously you can't use like a normal fire, but if you've got a block of metal even, you don't even need to use an anvil, because that's very simple. As I said, you can just use the edge and the flat. Like that's all you need to use. So, and they act as quite good gifts, you know what I mean? You can make loads of these in a day, so you can just like sell them for like a $5 each, you know? Only takes like 5-10 minutes as you saw. I was a little bit slower because I was like talking to you guys, but you know, you can churn these out really quickly if you want to, if you really go for it. Create a bit of a product line. Anyway. Right, that's me. I'll see you guys in the next video.